late to my stream. I ended up was playing some Grand Theft Auto and just kind of got sidetracked by a lot. Um, but welcome. My name is Addagro. I will be working on a hip hop beat today. As far as to like what kind of vibe I'm gonna go with, I'm not entirely sure at the moment. Um, but wanted to let you guys know, what I am, what I do. I will be using Reason 11 for my DAW and where I will be doing most of my work. So if you're familiar with Reason or any of the Reason products, this should be a good way for you to either learn something new or even teach me how to do some stuff. Maybe I'm doing something completely wrong. Um, but yeah, so I'll go ahead and get started here. I went ahead and loaded up my blank template, so I don't have um, anything currently loaded, so I only have like a couple of the instruments that I've used on occasion, or that I mostly use to work. So I have my drum machine, I have my looper, which I usually just put in like some percussion, tambourines, shakers and whatnot. I have my two Europa synthesizers, one that I usually use as bass and the other one as like a rhythmic lead. um and then on the side bus I have a couple of effects, and I have everything going out through a compressor and a saturation plugin, and then just then a couple EQs before getting out to the actual audio out. And I just got a couple things to monitor levels and whatnot. um but yeah, so let's get started with today's programming. Like I said, I don't really have like anything kind of laid out or planned out specifically for today. Um, and since I am running a bit late, I actually have not thought of any progressions or anything like that while I've been kind of doing this. So, gonna check my settings real quick. It looks like everything's set up correctly. Just gonna test sound. Make sure you guys hear it. Looks like you guys can. Okay. So I'm probably just gonna send out a quick notification saying, people, I'm on the air. What's this? Mm-hmm. Whatever. All right, so let's get started. So I want to start off today. Maybe I'll start off today with something else. They usually go with like my beat going on at first, but kind of want to do something else today. So let's just see. Do-do-do-do. Usually, going about it in a different way allows you to think a little bit more as to like what you can and cannot do. Um, so maybe today I'll start with a synth lead. I kind of wanted it to be a bit more of a pluck, so I'm gonna take down the attack and take down the sustain to nil. I'm gonna increase the release time to about half a second, and then the decay to about a second there. And I have it be it's my oscillators in a half sawtooth, half square wave. Um, so it gives it a bit more grit. So if I'm gonna run it to a filter, give it more of a plucky feeling. So I'm just gonna have this being modulated by the second envelope here. And essentially what I'm going to have it do is that every time a key is being pressed, the frequency goes up a bit, and then comes back down to this level to about 1000 kilohertz. Just slower, just so it can stay there a little bit longer. I'm gonna add a sub oscillator to this. I'm gonna add some unison on. Gonna add some reverb to that. Not a lot. Maybe. No. Maybe some echo to go along with it. Okay. All right, let's write something in there and then see how it goes. Get my stream manager back open. Mm-mm. I've been trying to mess around with this bass for like a while, and I'm not really liking the way it's going. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually want to create one that's a bit dirtier. I don't know. I want to go with a modular synth here. Um, what I want to do, I want to change this to be um, let's unplug that because I don't need that one. So we'll do pitch. I want this to be modulating this here. Um, I'm gonna do out. All right, so that's a much deeper bass. What I want to do too is also send out a sawtooth, maybe. Oops. Hmm. Hmm. Alrighty, so let's go over what I've done so far. Um, Went ahead and added a couple more instruments for this track. So I've added this modular synth, essentially emulating what would be a modular synthesizer if you have a Euro rack of some sort, where it's like everything is very modular. Then this is what replicates that. You have down to like the cables and stuff. And essentially, what I have this one doing is essentially going to be my bass for the track. I have it going. It's a sine wave that I'm playing at a very low frequency. That is being modulated by white noise, and then that's how you get like this kind of kind of fuzzy low end bass. So it allows you to be able to listen to it even if it's so low, and it'll actually play better on like high, on speakers and stuff like that. Because if I just leave a pure sine wave that low, my may a lot of devices will not be able to play that kind of frequency, or at least if you try to play it, it'll just be very distorted. What I've added here was these strings. These are it's a patch. This is called Restrings, and it's a third party string synthesizer. And I'm using a preset on it called Opus 3. And essentially just all it is just like essentially your strings. And then I've added these this piano, and I created a melody on it to just kind of, to have something move along, essentially, right? To have something to progress forward. And this is what it sort of sounds like, everything put together. So that's pretty much the gist of it. What I'm gonna do now is just gonna go into it and rework it as an actual track here. So gonna separate my different kick drums and hats and stuff and snares as I normally do. And again, and I'm doing this just because out of our organizational sake, and also if I want to add or remove parts of the drums, I don't have to do a new loop and a new pattern. I just kind of can just go in there and then take it off. What I'm also gonna do is just like, I have the kick going in because it was essentially a 8-bar 4-bar, sorry, it was a 1-bar loop. Just gonna remove a couple of these because it doesn't need to be that crazy. So and then that'll add that to there. And so then, so I messed up on that one. I should have removed this one and not that one. Alright, just want to make sure. Yeah. So I'm going to get rid of these. And I'm just going to copy over this pattern. Essentially, I'm just making the kick drum a little bit more scarce. So there's actually some movement with the kick drum. All right, let's see here. Let's time to move this over. Maybe what I'll do here for the intro, I'll have this playing, and this playing, and maybe this playing. Maybe what I can use this for is actually that. I wonder if it'll work. Gotta unmute it though. All right, I think that's it for that one. So just to run you by what I've done in the last couple seconds here, or last couple minutes. This was that I added another synthesizer, a lead synth, with the one that I've been using mostly for the hook, just to add another instrument in the hook that is not the piano, and to just add a little bit more high end to it. What I've done is that I've reused what I was going to use as the bass for the track, and then just kind of subdued it a lot more, and then ran it through a bit crusher, and that's what's giving it like the the little glitchy um vibe to it. Let me just and instead of having it so low in the register, I've actually bumped it up a couple octaves, just so it won't interfere with like the actual bass line, which is this one. but it adds more to it, so it kind of work in tandem now to cover the low end. So you'll be able to listen to it still on, like, say for instance, your phone or your Bluetooth speaker that may not have a ton of bass. But you'll still be able to get some of the notes that come in, even though it's not really doing anything crazy or fancy, not a like a crazy melody that's going on. But like you kind of already saw how like it sounded, how empty, how hollow it sounded when it just had one of them on. So I just did that, and then I have it running throughout the entirety of the track. Also, the way I've structured this is I have a verse, of a hook, verse, second verse, hook, and the same way as I've done before, that I've added the percussion, which would be the shaker that's someone did it with their mouth. I actually just found this on one of my presets here, and I think that was pretty interesting. So that's that, and then for this side here, I just kind of eliminated the drums altogether. And I'm kind of tempted to, because they're coming after me. And so yeah, so that's kind of what I did. So just eliminated the drums from that section. So that's gonna be the break, and essentially what would be the third verse. Um, and then after that, the hook repeats a couple times as I do, and then it just falls off. So yeah, so I think I'm gonna call it for today. That should be it. Um, like I said, I'm sorry it wasn't like completely planned or anything, but like, at least we came out with something. So hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys got something out of this, or at least enjoyed the track that was being made. Um, as far as naming this one goes, I'll probably, since it's kind of glitchy, I'll call it just like uh glitching utopia. Uh, and now it's gonna be ready for vocals. Okay. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for that one, and I hope you guys learned something. If you're new to Reason, um, or anything like that, then this is a good way to start. Um, if you're just new to music in general, this is also a good way, because I've never took any compute, like any lessons on how to do it or anything like that. But yeah, definitely, something can still come out of it. So yeah, don't ever think yourself not good enough to make music. Always give it a try. Never just be uh well, I guess, you can't help the thoughts, but if you get into the mindset of like, hey, I don't want to get rejected or anything like that, just, sometimes you gotta bite the bullet and you just gotta do it. So yeah, if like I said, if you wanna get started in music production, or anything creative, I'd say just do it. Just find a time. Like, even if you say that you don't have time, make some time. Like, put it in your schedule to work on something. Like, even if it's like 15 minutes, like, I'm gonna learn how to play something today, or I'm gonna learn how to draw something today. Just do it. Because that way, once you actually get it done, or once you get started, you'll see what you can and cannot do, and in order to just progress and to grow into to your craft, you just got to keep on doing it. So once you get started, you got to keep doing it. You got to continue. So if you really want to make music out there, then just, that's one way to do it. That's how I started, and that's how I'm gonna continue to do my thing. And if anything, practice makes perfect. Practice at least an hour a day. To me, this is kind of my practice. So that way I don't lose my my, I guess you could say, my mojo when it comes to like when I want to create something for myself, or when I want to create something that's a bit more in depth. Um, and again, like I said, if you're really if if you enjoyed this, I hope you did, and I hope you at least learned something. Anything that you saw here can be transferred over to a different DAW. So if you're into Fruity Loops, Ableton, or Pro Tools, the MIDI roll or the piano roll, so you can write in MIDI notes is the same. There's apps on your phones that that do the same thing. So if you want to just produce music on your phone, hey, you can do that too. And once again, if you want to hit me up, all my social media is in the description, or also in my Twitch homepage. I have pretty much all the major stuff. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. I have Twitter, and everything. So just at me or whatever. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and catch you guys on the next one. Peace.